time. Just go at it. I'm live now. So by now, everybody's talking about this. I think there's probably 10 lives going right now. People are speculating, going back and forth. I just want to go over like everything that we have. This all kind of really came out over the over Sunday, Monday, and I don't follow a bunch of cases. Only other case I've ever followed was, the case is local here, but somehow I'm just kind of drawn to this one. So I'm going to follow it through with everyone else. But I'm going to try to stay neutral in the sense of where all this is going, like the fact what's happening, because I feel like in so many cases we see stuff, but we want to try to compare. I mean, even right now, there's comparison videos going on online of how similar the Watts family and this family here, Shane and Heidi, and so I don't want to compare them, because Heidi is her own person individually, as Shanann was her own person individually. And so I think you take away from Heidi if we try to compare, and I think it's not fair to Shane to compare him to Chris Watts at all. And so I know that I could be totally wrong. In 20, a day and a half from now, they could arrest him and charge him with some heinous crime. So with that being said, I just want to look at the stuff we have, because I haven't taken a real good look at it. Last night, I looked at some of the raw video for the first time, and I was already spent. Like, I had already done a live. I had already been on another subject. I had already worked it out in a different way. It was like at the end of my energy, and I didn't have the time or the energy to put into really taking a look at him, taking a look at what's going down. So we're going to watch one of the first, we're going to watch the interview from inside the house. I watched it last night. I'm going to take a look at it and see, make a judgment call based on what we know when we get through all of this. We're going to watch the raw video. You've probably seen it. I don't care. This is kind of for me, just for my own sense of, if I'm going to look at this case, I better look at it pretty openly. I also have some phone numbers. I am going to try to get a hold of some people in the family today. I'm even going to try to get a hold of Shane, because I got his phone number, and I have verified that it's a good number. I haven't called him and I haven't talked to him yet, but I do know that this is a legit number for him. And so we're going to go that way. But first, we're going to go through all this stuff, and we'll just go that way and see what happens. So what's happening here, just so you understand, is he's talking to someone on the phone who's doing the interview.
It's my fiance. Yes, ma'am.
You have a cameraman.
Yeah, I look down when I talk.
And you have Dad that's sitting across from him.
Yeah.
This is a very awkward situation for no matter who you are.
That was just a basic Thursday. We basically have a routine every day. I get up around 6 a.m. and pretty much hit the snooze button a couple times, and then I finally wake up around 6:15, drink some water.
So what's happening here is he's being interviewed by somebody on the phone, and I know that people are gonna. He's looking down. Actually, this is all real good stuff, because he's not lying. Like, he's not lying right now. He's going through his routine with the interviewer. What this is a classic. This is a classic thing that happens. The interviewer doesn't want to know the details of his routine, but he's giving the details of his daily routine, even to the point where he says, I drink water. Now, if he was looking up, pow, pow, and away, y'all all seen Liar, Liar. Y'all know what the hell that means. Right now, looking down, he doesn't have a point of contact in the room. In other words, the cameraman keeps saying, hey, look at your dad, because his dad is literally sitting off camera. But he doesn't want to look at his dad and say these things. He don't want to look and talk about these things like that. That doesn't make sense. That's uncomfortable. So first of all, this interview is set up poorly, in a sense that since they didn't have someone live there to engage with him, look at him sitting back and forth, they were doing this from a phone. He was set up poorly in this interview. And this is why lawyers will tell you not to talk to anyone. This is why lawyers will say, don't talk to the press, don't talk to law enforcement, because they want to set you up to look a certain way. They really do. They really do. And so this was a poor decision on his part to do this interview this way.
Wake up the kids around 6:30. Wake up Heidi and Silas right before I leave. So like once I got them up on Thursday, it was kind of a later morning. It was around 6:40 whenever I got him up, and because it was Heidi's first day to actually take Margot by herself with Silas. So
that's real emotion, people. That's not made up. So like I know there's people out there speculating. That's not made up emotion. This is a guy who now is getting from a comfortable position to a very uncomfortable position, in a sense of he's talking about someone he cares about, and he's trying to give a recount of what happened on Thursday. And this is real emotion. So I understand that people are going to be like, well, he's not looking up, he's talking, he's, his voice is cracking. You can't accidentally make your voice crack, by the way. That's not a standard thing that you just learn to do. Now there are actors and people that know how to do it, but this is what is happening right in front of you is a awkward situation for a man, a very emotional situation for someone. And so
pretty much gave Heidi a kiss, the baby kiss, and Sal's kiss, said have a wonderful day. Left the apartment, went to work, and then she takes it.
This interview is so poorly set up. Like I'm cringing at what I'm watching, not because of what he's saying or how it's going down, but just the fact that the cameraman didn't have him fix his collar before we started. Like as someone who's made a living behind the camera for many, many years, I look at this and go, damn, this was a poorly set up. He didn't even have the dude fix his collar. He's in this little hoodie thing. He didn't have him fix his collar. That right there alone tells me that, first of all, the cameraman is freaking nervous. He's not really doing a job. I mean, again, the cameraman may be nervous because of a couple of things. He's in the room with a potential man who may or may not be responsible for a missing mom and baby, and he doesn't even take the time to say, "Hey, let's fix your shirt before we start."
School, and she was making lunch, like right before I left. She took the kids to school. So at around 8 o'clock.
Okay, so now what's happening here? And I want to explain this, and y'all probably already pissed off, but y'all have already watched this shit. Anyone who's been following this case has watched this thing through and through already. So I'm just breaking this stuff down. This is what I'm gonna do, and y'all gonna just deal with it. What's happening now is this dude has told this story before. This ain't the first time he's told this story. This isn't the first, I think the first interview happened outside. I think this interview, I don't know which interview came first, but he's telling this story. This might be the first time he's telling it, but he's gone over it because he's already told the police this story. He's already gone through it with investigators. He's already gone through it with the local cops. No doubt in my mind. And so he's given this detail about times because law enforcement asked about times. He's not volunteering this information because he thinks it's relevant to this interview. He's telling this because the last time he told this story, the investigator said, "So how did you start your morning? What happened?" He went through it, and then all of a sudden the investigator said, "Well, what time was that?" So he knew already what times these things were happening because he's told this story once to an investigator.
Like right before I got in my truck, I work for Unicorn Moving. So,
yeah, whose truck did you get in? Why'd you get in the truck? Is that a work truck or is that a company truck, right? So again, I don't think he's volunteering this information. I could be totally off base here, but I'm trying to understand why he's given us this information. And the reason why is because investigators have asked him about this information. Again, this isn't the first interview he's done.
And she told me that she went to the book fair. She bought 3 books. Cost about $25.
Okay, so again, details that either can be corroborated or details that can not be. She went to the book fair. Okay, so where was the book fair? Boom. Let's go see if they have cameras. Let's see if anybody remembers seeing her. What books did she buy? Let's find out where she bought those books. Who talked to her at 8 o'clock in the morning? What was her demeanor? So he's given details because officers have asked for details prior to this. So he's going through his head what he's already gone through.
She couldn't wait to read to Silas. And I told her, "I love you, goodbye." And
this is normal. This is standard.
This is hard.
Because now he's realizing at this point, he's regurgitating the stuff that he told the officers. And people are like, well, he's smiling. He's laughing. How could you laugh in this? You got to understand how uncomfortable this situation is. He's sitting in his living room. He's got his dad sitting across from him. He's got a lady on the cell phone. He's got a cameraman who doesn't really know what the hell's going on. Bro, man, the collar's killing me. And now all of a sudden reality is setting in. This is how I think I would have reacted. I would have been eager to tell the media and eager to talk to someone. But then all of a sudden, I think in the middle of it, reality could have set in and it would have been, what in the hell am I doing? My wife is missing and I'm sitting here talking to the media. Why are you at, why am I talking about where I work? Why am I talking about what times things? My wife is missing, right? My fiance.
Yeah.
He's trying to choose his words, right? He doesn't think they're going to air this thing raw. He doesn't think they're going to just turn this thing over to the YouTube world. This is evidence, maybe, possibly, and he doesn't think they're going to turn it over. He thinks they're going to cut this up.
And let me know if you want me to move on to another question.
No, it's a good question. This is just a weird situation right here.
See, he's being honest. These are honest answers. This is an honest man actually talking. This isn't a guy trying to get himself off. This is a guy going, I don't even know how to respond. I don't know what's happening in this situation, and I don't know how to respond. I got this camera, the lights, these weirdness going on. This is honesty.
I don't know. She's just an amazing mom. I don't know. I don't know. I need to stand up. I don't know. I can't sit here. This is like making me so. I feel funny.
A couple of things that could be happening. One, I don't know how long he's been sitting there. He's under some lights. I don't know what he's sitting on. Is he sitting on a table? Is he sitting on a back chair? Is he sitting on a couch? I don't know why he's uncomfortable now, except that this entire situation, the last few minutes, the 3 minutes and 44 seconds we've been watching that I've turned into whatever, has been uncomfortable.
There's like light. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not getting the situation. Yeah.
Yeah, we can stand up. Hey, I'm gonna just reframe a little bit. See, like he wants to stand up. So let's just take a second. Okay. Let's stop.
Let's suppose that you're writing a really
I need to
important
skip that
email to a
ad, though.
colleague.
They ain't getting no free ads. What's up with that nonsense? Come on. Got to skip all that bull crap. Put an ad right there. They trying to get an ad in on them. I'm playing this from YouTube, so I didn't have to download it. But I guess I should have been more professional. I'm listening to learn how to speak English in other languages. Grammarly. They must know me too well. What the heck? Why can't I skip this ad? I can't skip this ad. It's great, classic. James, you're asking if I think he did it. I'm not willing to say. How about that? How about I'm trying to look at this from a open perspective. And if I start cracking up on things, whether or not I think he did this or not is really is a mute point when it comes to oh shoot, I just skipped through a bunch of crap. Oh, that was a real ad though, so that's okay. Oh, I could have just buzzed through this. Now you learned something. I'm gonna look at y'all's questions real quick since I got that set up now. Do I think he did it? No, not yet. Not yet. Can I say that? Not yet. Because I don't even know how I would respond, right? Like, I really don't. I don't think law enforcement, people say, like, you got to understand how quick this thing went down. This actually looks more like a vanishing than Kelsey Barris, because they were on this the day of. They were on this the day of. And so if in fact he's guilty, then he must have had a pre-plan. He must have, we're going to find out that this thing was pre-planned. And we know when there's pre-planning involved, there's probably more people involved. If this had been a crime of passion, if this had been a crime of, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to see. We're going to find out, but I don't, at this point, I can't make that decision, James. I can't say it. I can't say it. Let me stay neutral, and then we'll go from there. Let's keep watching, and I'll keep interrupting.
And we moved from Louisiana about 5 years ago. So we've been living here about 5 years, I believe so. Yeah, 4 or 5 years. Like that, yeah. We came from Louisiana.
Okay. Can I just say how unprofessional again? They took time to reframe the shot, but they didn't fix his collar again. This is why I never went into news, because I was they're too cheap.
Story short, my ex-wife with my beautiful daughter Addison came down here as soon as my dad got cancer. Kent's free now. That's not the main story, but yeah. So we just kind of we're on the pipeline traveling, so we had to come down here. So we moved back to Austin. All my family's here. So that's great.
I know it's
Oh,
hard.
okay.
Yeah, talk to your dad, yeah.
So again, you're seeing
Not be swaying and all like that.
Okay.
you're seeing the all, you know what, the swaying. I want to tell you guys, man, even me, right? You've seen this. You've seen this. You've seen it. You've watched enough YouTube to see someone that doesn't know how to hold still while they're talking. You've watched enough interviews. The cop, when the cop was doing the press conference, he had a little sway in. As unnatural as you think that is, that's really natural on camera. A lot. That cameraman knew it. That cameraman knew it and was trying to explain it to him. And so I'm going to give him that. I'm going to give that cameraman that. But the swaying, as unnatural as it seems, I guarantee there's a reason why they haven't taken this dude into custody and questioned him. I bet if he may have already been into custody and been questioned. Okay. But that, he may have voluntarily went in, and so we don't know that. That's what we don't know.
Sorry.
No, you're doing great.
Okay. Yeah.
I just want you to look for
Yeah.
to look good.
Sorry.
Because,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So,
yeah, we moved down here about 5 years ago, and
Because he's looking at this like a phone call. He's trying to listen too.
yes, I found amazing friends.
He's got that hat on.
Oh, this is so hard.
I don't know if you can hear
um,
with the hat on.
I know I can't. You said I made any friends?
You're from Austin.
Yeah. So it's like
I understand the swaying back and forth, but
Leander.
I'm telling you, that's a natural thing to see on camera for someone who isn't on camera a lot. I promise you.
Yeah,
It's a natural thing.
We went to Leander High School. I already have friends over here.
He doesn't, this is an interview, so he's trying to answer this stuff the best he can. This isn't him going off subject. This is the way honest people answer.
Is there anyone in Austin who you don't have a good relationship with? Maybe you have issues with?
There's nobody. No, we have a loving and great family. Heidi has great friends. She's the most awesome person in the world. Loving mom. She supports everything everybody does. She could have like $4 in the bank account and still want to give. So she's a great person. So is Margot, our beautiful 3-week-old daughter.
How are you acting? Are you standing still when your wife and your daughter have gone missing? I'm telling you, I don't know. I could beat this 100 times. This doesn't mean he's innocent, by the way. I'm trying to look at this objective. You've all got the conspiracies of why he's rocking and why, and I'm exaggerating that. He's not rocking that much. He's zoomed in from the camera. Again, the camera plays tricks on you. And I want you to understand that what's happening in this interview, I have seen it. From 100 people getting interviewed about not missing people. I've seen it from people, stand-up comedy. I've seen it from people on the stage. Trust me, this is not abnormal for a person who's getting shoved in front of a camera in a very awkward interview with what seems to be unprofessionals because they didn't even fix the collar. Like that cameraman needs to worry about just a small frame. And the first thing you do when you put someone in an interview, especially something like this, have you ever seen those awkward interviews where you can tell that the guy in the news is actually somewhere else, and then the other thing, and there's this pause and all this stuff? Think about this. This guy doesn't know where his wife is. He doesn't know where his daughter is. And now he's trying to do whatever he can to get the word out because she's been missing since Thursday, right? This is Sunday. She's been missing since Thursday, and nobody's doing anything. The cops have come and questioned and asked things. This isn't the same day. This isn't Chris Watts getting interviewed and then confessing the next day. You understand? You have to understand. He's already talked to the cops. The cops have already questioned him. You heard it today. The cops, they didn't say he's cooperated. He's been cooperative. This is different. It's different. Patrick Frazie's silent. Chris Watts talks people's heads off. This guy's right in the middle of it going, shit. What? And I'm sitting here going, what? Why? I don't even know why this is awkward. This is a weird situation. I can't hear the phone. Can I stand up then? You know, like when you want to talk on the phone, you want to walk around the room. You want to, is he innocent? I don't know, but neither do you. But neither do you. That's what I know for sure.
So, yeah, there's no enemies. There's nothing that would be negative.
He's trying to answer that question fully.
To harm us at all.
He's got tears running. Those aren't fake tears. This dude isn't a freaking Academy Award winning actor. Those are real tears.
No, I'm good. Yeah. What's that?
He's trying to listen. He's got a cameraman. He's got his dad sitting there.
It was a regular day. So like what I was trying to explain. Okay.
See how awkward that is?
What I was trying to explain. It was a normal day.
I don't know how they let this footage out.
I woke up at 6. I pretty much do my 30 minutes of my routine, like before I get them up. I get a little extra 30 minutes of sleep, and then I get them up, and then my fiance Heidi wakes up with the kids, and we start making lunch, or she started making lunch, and I kiss them goodbye, tell them have a great day at school.
He's telling the same story again. She asked, and he's telling it.
Pretty much leave for work, and then once I get to work, by the time she drops them off, I'm like getting in my trucks around like 7:40, 7:45, and we always make contact like right before I get in my truck and then go to work.
So you understand that
the book fair, and they just bought 3 books.
Again, these are questions he's already been over, even in this interview, right? It's a repeat. Ba-bam, ba-bam. We've already heard this. I've already given commentary on the book fair. I've already given commentary on the phone call. These are things they're going to be able to check and tell immediately, right? Immediately. They check his phone. They check her phone. How long were they on the call? Was it long enough? Where was she at when they were on the call? Was she at the book fair? Right? This is all happening the same day. He talks to the cops at like 7 or 6 o'clock or something, you know. It was a little later, 7 o'clock, but we'll get to that. This guy, I know that the internet right now is destroying him, and he could very well be a monster, or he could very well be an innocent dad who's concerned for his family.
Like $25. She couldn't wait to read to Silas whenever his house got home. We just bought 3 brand new books, which is right here inside the house. And that's the last time I actually made contact with her.
So let's drop that phone down a little bit. Try to talk to your dad.
Okay.
Take it maybe like a step or 2 closer to the cams.
Okay.
I know it's tough.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it doesn't feel natural
No, I know.
at all.
I know. I'm
It's
sorry.
like,
That is a natural swaying, by the
Okay.
way. I don't care what anybody says. That's a natural swaying.
what's the next question?
Who's he had? Daryl, who's he supposed to have eye contact with? The telephone? His
Yeah,
dad? Is he supposed to
actually,
look into his
before I left
dad's
this
eyes? Is he
morning
supposed to look
at
into the
6
cameraman's eyes? He's
7:50.
talking to a telephone. He's trying to look up. They're like signing to him right now. They're saying, look at me, look at us. They're trying to make him look like he's talking to an interviewee. This is unnatural in and of itself.
And that's the last time I spoke to my my son. Dude, I can't. This is weird.
I know.
So you're moving my dad. You're moving like I can't be.
See,
professional.
listen, people want to get on to him about this, but you have to understand at this very moment, he's trying to tell them this is not comfortable. You're moving my dad around. I'm supposed to look at my dad, the cameraman, my freaking collar's jacked. I'm talking to some lady on the phone who's asking me the same question that I was asked 10 minutes ago when I was sitting down. My wife and my daughter are missing, and you want me to act normal? What is normal? How would you act? I know all of you know how Chris Watts acts. Shit, he was on video. I know all of you know how Patrick Frazee acts. He wasn't on video. This guy initiated this. He initiated this interview because the cops weren't doing anything. She'd been missing since Thursday, and we're going to have to make a phone call.
Call you back or something. I don't know what to do, man. You make me nervous.
Do you
I don't know.
Do you want to try a different?
I just want to be natural, man. I just want to, like, this is not. I don't know.
Yeah. Try and look at the camera, whatever you want to look at.
You still haven't fixed this fucking collar.
Sorry.
That's
okay. Do that.
You can tell me,
Whatever
yeah.
you can do, just do it. No pressure, no nothing. If it works, it works. If it don't, it
These
don't.
guys.
This is the way we got to do it.
I just want to get the word out there. I don't care how I look.
Okay. You about ready?
Okay.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the word out. I don't care how I look. Everyone on this chat right now judging how he looks. Even me. Even me. Even me. That's a dad trying to get the word out. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. And if I am, you guys are going to let me know. If this guy ends up being guilty as all get out and they're like, I told you, Marco, you should have seen that interview. We knew it in the interview. We saw it in the interview. I don't see that. I don't see that. Okay. I don't see that. I know that's not popular amongst you Watts lovers. Y'all want to compare this guy to Chris Watts right off the bat, man. Why don't I compare you to your ancestors? Oh, it just makes me mad. I don't see guilt. I see a guy confused. I see a guy who doesn't understand. I see a guy who's nervous. I see a guy who's uncomfortable in front of the camera. I see all of those things.
Yeah, so my other question was, is there anything in point of Heidi that's like missing right now? Like, is her cell phone there? Anything valuable missing?
There is nothing valuable missing. Her purse and her wallet and everything was up here. Her cell phone is missing. It's been turned off. Whenever I pulled up around 1:40, it's been off since then. So
somebody said
the car
to
seat,
the other day or
everything is
last night when we were listening to this, how do you know it was off? Because he called it. He called it. Went straight to voicemail. He called it. Went straight to voicemail. He's trying to answer these questions honestly. He's trying to answer them honestly. He's not hiding. This isn't scripted because this is such an awkward. People are like, what's a scripted deal? He didn't know what questions were coming. No valuables missing. No, nothing's missing. Everything's here. Even the money in the car was here. I heard him say that in another interview, because that's what they asked, right? Most valuable thing in his life is missing. He's trying to get the word out about it. These dang reporters are asking stupid questions, but the cameraman can't even set him up to look good. Is he guilty? I don't know. You've already made that decision, haven't you? You've already made that decision, and it's only been 3 days. We've watched some video. We don't even know what the cops have. Half the internet's already convicted this guy.
No signs of anything.
It's happening right in front of you. You're watching it happen.
How long have you and Heidi been together? I mean, as long as you've known her, has she ever disappeared before? Has she ever, just
No.
Gone off the grid?
No, ma'am. She would never disappear. She is an amazing mom. She'll never. We have a 6-year-old son named Silas, beautiful kid. She would never leave him. Nah, she would never do this. She wouldn't do this.
To confirm a couple of details. So, how old is Margot?
Margot, she was born on the 26th of November. So 3 weeks. About 3 weeks.
Okay, and this is one of my last questions, but if you could say anything to Heidi right now, like if she was gonna watch the newscast, what would you want to tell her?
I want to tell her to please come home. You know, your family's here.
Such a stupid question.
And she wouldn't do this. I'm not telling her this. I'm telling her sake for the family. She has a beautiful kid. She has a beautiful family. Beautiful dog.
It's a dumbass question. The dog's sitting right there. Don't get on to him because he mentioned the dog.
Herself. She would not be doing this. This is definitely something that happened that was wrong. So anybody that could share, post, do anything, 1 second helps to save a beautiful family.
But you have to understand, he's on a phone interview.
Kid,
there's nobody in that room asking him questions.
Anything you could do. Just reach out. If you don't know me, I don't care. If you see the post.
We're going to, Shane. We're going to.
Out, keep your eyes open.
You said it. I'm going to call you right now.
Just be open-minded. Anything suspicious, do anything you can to help. Please. It's a 3-week-old baby out there, and a mom, and a son that's missing her mom and family.
And if you could say anything to the person that she and Margot might be with.
All right.
Her and Margot might what? I'm sorry.
If you could say anything to, the person that she might be with, like the person, because you said she wanted to do this on her own. So
okay.
If you could say something to the person who may be involved in the disappearance.
If you're involved, I don't care. Set her to the side. She'll find her way home. Just bring her home safe, or put her somewhere safe. Her and the baby. Feed the baby. She's only 3 weeks old. So just find a way. You won't be in trouble. Just drop her off. She has a beautiful family.
He's pleading, man. I don't care.
Drop her off anywhere.
Like, I know people are like, oh, look in the camera, quit swaying. Oh my God. That is the actual fact that is natural behavior that I've seen from people who don't even know how to answer questions on camera. Those aren't fake. I don't think he's guilty.
I don't care. Just make sure she's safe and okay, and the baby's okay. And then right away, I don't know what. I just want her home safe. It doesn't have to be here. Just drop her off somewhere safe. If it is somebody, just please come home. Or drop her off at my doorstep. I don't care. Just bring my family home.
All right, Shane. Well, that was all
No, just I love you, Heidi. I love you, Margot. Just anybody that could support us in any way possible. I'm about to be off. So, is any support, any old friends, share, post, like, anything, contact anybody if you see her. Just do whatever you can. We definitely appreciate it. I think it's, I don't know.
Well, Shane, thank you for taking out the time to speak with us and for doing a very difficult interview. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're going to get the story out and hopefully it will come home soon.
Just,
Thank you again for the interview.
yeah, thank you so much.
Couple things in that in there, are weird to me. But again, this isn't one of those things. That whole interview is awkward from the start. It's with unprofessionals. It's over a phone in a live setting for him. Like, so he is in an awkward situation. I'm going to call Shane. How about that? Let's just call him. See if he'll talk to us.
Please leave your message for 3378.
Got his phone turned off. I don't know how I feel about that. I figured it would ring more. Let me lots of internet rumors flying around. Lots of there's looks like there's messages that are being sent as if they were from Shane to friends. There's a message that mentions some sort of rape that happened. Shane says it was a homeless person. People have sent me those screenshots. I've tried to get a hold of the guy who is actually listed in those screenshots. He hasn't responded. People are asking about the antenna that's in his hoodie pocket or in his zip up sweater pocket, his jacket pocket. That's a microphone antenna, 100%. I could probably look up the make and model on that microphone pretty quickly and find a picture of it for you. But it's a microphone in his pocket. The actual cameraman, I think, has actually verified that. The car was still at the house. I don't feel he did it either. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, like, anybody can have feelings right now. Anybody can sit here and watch these terrible interviews that they did with him and pick apart why it should look one way, why it should look the other way, how you would have reacted in the situation. Right now, we need to be really, really focusing on spreading her picture, and her information out there, because, man, there's a couple of things that could happen. There's a couple of things that could be going on right now. Let's say that he's not. For for whatever, for the sake of dad with the phone right now, let's say he's not involved. Let's say that her and her 3-week-old baby were kidnapped. Well, then her picture, the baby's picture, they need to be out there. People need to be talking about her and the baby. How long does she have to be missing before we give up hope? I don't know. Until we have some sort of understanding of what maybe went down, if people are going to just give in and say, oh, he done it and she's missing, is that what they said about Jamie's case when she came running out of captivity? Let's be honest. That's a beautiful baby. That's a beautiful woman. There are a lot of evil psychopaths in this world. Is he one of them? I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It will be. Everybody's going to get to see it. We're going to watch this case. Nobody's going to let this case disappear. Nobody's going to forget about Heidi there. They're not going to let it happen, right? The internet is blown up today with videos and posts and speculations and theories. Last night we had some good prayer for this woman and her family, for that baby. Last night I was up most of the night. I got a sick baby. I was reading an article sitting right there with my little girl. She's throwing up. You want to talk about feeling helpless? I felt helpless last night, and all I did was have a little girl that was throwing up. If he isn't a part of it, if he has nothing to do with it, imagine the torment. Listen, this is not Patrick Frazie's case. This is not the Chris Watts. By this time in the Chris Watts case, that bitch had confessed. He went to trial 4 months. So what do you mean he waited 5 hours? He called the police around 7:30. I mean, I've gone whole days without talking with my wife. She'd come walking in, her phone was dead, she left her phone in the car, whatever, right? Now there are suspicious circumstances. She doesn't have her car. The baby doesn't get picked up from daycare. People have also, not the baby, but their son was at daycare. It wasn't at a school. It was at a school, but then he went to like an after school program. So it wasn't like the kid sat in the principal's office and they had to he was at a daycare and he went and picked him up. He got home. Now he knows something's up and he calls the police. He doesn't call the police the day later. He didn't come up with this story about people know they didn't see him move things. They haven't seen, nobody's come forward and said we saw some suspicious activity. They actually called him, Rachel. The daycare actually got a hold of him and said, hey, you need to come pick up your son. Your wife didn't show up. It's not long in your opinion. It isn't long. It really isn't. He found out they're missing. Like literally, baby didn't pick up the baby. Where the hell are you? Did you go somewhere with someone? Where did you go? What happened? Goes around the apartments looking. Then he calls the cops. This all happened. I mean, listen, if everybody called the cops when they haven't found their wife in an hour and a half, cops would be going crazy. It wasn't a long time. It wasn't a day. She wasn't gone for a day. Something happened. Somebody saw something. The problem with what you're saying there, Julie, is I don't think Bernie would call the cops instantly. There was a couple of red flags that happened that we would all say in hindsight, right? In hindsight. I saw her car. It was here. I'd like to know what he did at the apartment. I would have asked those questions. What'd you do between 2 and 6 when you got the call to come pick up your son? You know, where were you at? You know, do you know where? He has a really good story for where he was at in the morning when he went to work. He obviously made phone calls from work because we talk every day. Is that a true statement? You don't think the cops are going to look at those? Listen, the FBI is involved. Fucking FBI. Sorry about that, sponsors. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to drop the F-bomb there. The FBI is got hard-ons for phone pings right now. They've been making cases all over the country with phone pings. And so they're not only going to look at that day, they're going to look back at prior days. Did he call his wife prior? Is he telling the story correctly that he calls his wife every morning when he gets to the trucks or about to get on the pipeline or whatever he's doing right before he goes to work, 7:45, I always kind of touch base with her. This would be normal for a husband to do with a woman that has a 3-week-old. I've seen rumors that her mom had just left. If you come home to the door to the house was wide open, no sign of your wife or kids, but her car is home, would you wait to call the police until the school called and said, come pick up your daughter? I don't know how many times, Jen, I've come home to my door open. That's just truth. I got kids. I blame my kids. Now, my kids don't go to school, so they're homeschooled. Right now, I don't even know where my kids are. So my wife left. She went to the store. My kids are at the library. Freaking just told the internet my kids are at the library. And then I have a sick one right over here on the couch. Have I ever come home to my door being open, my kids being gone and no one around, me not being able to get a hold of my wife? Absolutely. I absolutely have been in that situation. I haven't ever freaked out and called the cops. I'm calling the cops when there's people in my house with guns. I'm calling the cops right before I kill someone who's threatened my children. I'm calling the cops right before I kill someone who's coming to my house. I'm calling the cops. I'm only calling the cops I called the cops one time. You know what? I called the cops one time. A car almost hit my kid out front. I chased that car down, took a picture of their license plate, took video of them, call the cops. The cops go and find out who that person is, and I want to file charges, but because I couldn't say if it was a woman or a man in the car, the cops didn't do shit. That happened in my town. So Yeah, I'm only calling the cops when I am scared for my life. I'm calling the cops if my wife goes missing if I can't get a hold of her it depends on the situation. If she's gone out with her girlfriends, I might give her 12 hours. If I know she's gone out with her girlfriends and I got the kids home, I might give her 12. Now, I might get pissed at her when she gets home. Why the hell you didn't call me? Why the hell you didn't just leave a message? Why the hell you didn't answer your text messages? What the hell? You left at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You didn't come home till 4 a.m. in the morning. She might get a little dad with a phone pissed off, but I'm not calling the cops, right? I've been missing for over 24 hours and my wife hasn't called the cops. Again, I was out in the woods, right? I was out camping. I was supposed to be home at a certain time, didn't come home at a certain time. She waited 24 hours. I was home within 24 hours. She didn't call the cops. You call the cops the last freaking resort. If your neighbor goes missing, go slam on their door, knock on their door. If you want to do a welfare check on someone, go do a freaking welfare check. Don't call the cops for a welfare check. Go do it. Go knock on your neighbor's door. I tell you that because too many people getting killed by the cops for bullshit. The cops the cops can't do what I can do. They can't call up people. Shit. Don't call the cops. Call the cops last resort. So because he called the cops in an hour and a half, I'd almost think he's more guilty. I'd be like, if my wife was missing for an hour and a half, I probably wouldn't call the cops. If she didn't pick up the kids, I call her best friends. And he says he does that. He did all that. That's why it took him an hour and a half to call the cops. He was calling all her best friends. He's going around knocking on doors trying to figure out where she was. An hour and a half to call the cops after you've called all the best friends? It's pretty normal. Being nervous. If he got up there and did an interview stone cold, if he was able to do an interview stone cold without stuttering, without feeling nervous, without shaking, without swaying, we'd all be calling him guilty too. He's just too calm. He's just too calm. How do you act when your 3-week-old and your wife go missing? How do you act? Yeah, is she a nursing mom? I think something happened. First of all, I think something happened. All right. I don't think this is a situation where she had postpartum and, took off. He is not calm. He said a lie and never recovered. What lie did he say, Michelle? What lie? What's he lying about? What's he lying about? It was not a needle for sure. That's 100% true statement by Stacy. That's an antenna. Look, I'll show you. I'll show you. So mine are black antennas because I got professional gear. But I can tell you what, unprofessional will have an orange antenna like he had, right? But mine are black antennas. That's what's coming out of his pocket right there. He had this thing in his pocket like this, right? And that antenna, you can't see that one very well, but just like that. I don't know if you can see that or not. But that's what that was. Believe me or don't believe me, that was an antenna in his pocket. It 100%. I've seen that make and model. I could go. It's a cheap ass microphone. Cheap ass cameraman. It was not a needle. Hey, precious. How you doing? All right, good. You feeling better? Good. Too early for postpartum. I don't know about all that. I ain't even gonna try to act like I know when postpartum comes up. Have you heard if they are posting pictures of her missing? That I don't know. A mother with a newborn does not leave the house the way she did. Absolutely, Rhonda. Absolutely. This is not normal. But I want everyone to understand even the largest timeline we have. He is going to have an alibi up till 1:40 that day. Now, he says he doesn't talk to her between 1:40 and now. He hasn't talked to her since 1:40, or hasn't talked to her since 8 o'clock that morning, because when he got home, she wasn't answering her phone. Her phone was already off. So he's going to have an alibi up to 1:40. Now, from 1:40 till when he picks up the kids, that's what the cops are going to want to know what he did. And he's going to have to explain that. That's, let's say 1:40. Let's just call it 2 o'clock. So that's 4 hours of unaccounted for time that he's going to have to explain. Now, in that 4 hours, he may have an alibi you and I don't know about. They asked him. He didn't volunteer those times in these interviews, by the way. If you guys watch the interview, he's talking about times. It's because the cops have asked him what time those things happened. He has been questioned by law enforcement. Law enforcement is questioning everybody in the family. He's mentioned money a couple of times, talking about how they're probably, they're probably pretty broke. Talked about how they were broke, but she would help anyway. He does say a few things in there that I have questions. Do y'all have a joint bank account, or do y'all have separate bank accounts? Can we see, has she spent any money? Like, she spent $25 on books. You say that. Has she spent any other money? Athens, Georgia's calling me, but I don't know who this is. Let me see. Oh, it's Michael.
Hey, D-Wop.
Who's this?
It's Erin Leahy. I wanted to tell you some things that are happening in the chat. So somebody had asked if you could go to 1 minute 54 seconds in the video about the lie, and they said he said a lie, and
1 minute 54 seconds in the video.
Yeah.
Let's go see. Let me I don't know, find the one I was looking at. I just freaking deleted those. Let me just pull it up. So 1 minute 54. What's the lie?
I don't know. I saw it in the chat. Let me see. Jen B, I think, was the one who had said that. Is that right, Jen B?
Gotta find where the that's a 1 minute video. Where is his video at? That video keeps disappearing. The one links I had disappeared. Let me see. I'm gonna get let's see if I pull this up this way. Okay, I got it.
Michelle Brandenburg is the one that said, look at minute 154.
154.
Sorry. Sorry, Jim B.
So we'll start at 138. We'll bring that in and see what we come up with. What's your estimate? What do you think the lie is, Aaron?
I have no idea. That's why I was curious. You were on your cop tirade for a minute there.
Yeah, if I start talking about the cops, y'all better watch out. Let me get my headphones on so I can listen to this. All right, I'm gonna listen. We'll listen to it and see. You got any other questions? What do you think about all this? Are you calling him guilty?
It's interesting because I didn't think about it. You know, you're somebody, I know that's how you met Nikki, was interviewing her.
Absolutely.
So you know a lot about, you know, that type of
I've
situation.
done hundreds of interviews with people, if not thousands of interviews. And that's not even like an exaggeration. And so, yeah, I've probably shot video on over 300 documentaries where we sat in front of people and did interviews with people, and, 30 people per documentary or something. And so, watching people in front of the camera and questioning people in front of the camera is something I've done a long time. And to be honest with you, although his actions are not necessarily, I just think it was a poor interview in a sense of the way it was set up, how they went about it and stuff. And so for me, it's hard for me to watch because I feel like he just got a raw deal when it comes to that interview, and they're going to judge him by it. But the thing is cops are going to look at this and they're going to know that he's being genuine. There's going to be people look at this and know he's being genuine. I'm not a foremost expert in it. Now, the internet wants to put him side beside Watts and be like, you're as guilty as Watts. And I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem with a lot of these true crime people, is they can't see past the last case, right? I may always compare men who kill their spouses, their girlfriends, to Patrick Swayze. Is he acting like Patrick Swayze did? Does he do anything like Patrick Swayze? I understand that. That's what people are going to do with Chris Watts. Now, he has some striking similarities to Chris and the family and everything, but the situation is totally different. I mean, how long did you follow the Chris Watts case?
I did.
How long did it take him? How long did it take him to bust Chris Watts?
Pretty quickly.
Like one day, right? Wasn't it like one day?
Did you see the special on Oxygen when Tammy was interviewed and Nate the neighbor?
Oh yeah, I mean I haven't seen the Oxygen special. Oh, by the way, I'm interviewing with the Oxygen Network tomorrow. Anyway, that's a side note.
Sweet. Plug
for the Oxygen Network. Couples Who Kill.
So he was pretty obvious. That I didn't realize how much they knew, about him. Plus they had a neighbor. I think that if there were domestic issues, there's neighbors that heard that. And
they're going to come forward.
Right.
Yeah.
They're canvassing today, which a lot of people I've talked to find that to be kind of lame, because they should have been canvassing that day. I think a lot of people were saying in chat, which I personally, you're in a smaller town. So if you come home and the door's open, that's one thing.
Yeah, Austin a little different.
And she has a 3-week-old baby. So
yeah.
I would think he would be at least a little bit more heightened and wouldn't have been so laid back for.
Yeah, I can understand that. But, he tells a story that I guess it doesn't make in complete sense that he doesn't go check and look for her afterwards. Like, even if he believes that, oh, she probably took the baby down to so-and-so's house, right? And the door was cracked open or whatever, it left open. And even if that happened, right, an hour goes by, an hour and a half, I call my wife's phone, she don't answer. Where the hell is she? So I would think that there would have been some more questions, but I don't know. Did he come home, jump in the shower, take a nap? We don't know what he did. Do we? Does he talk about that? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, nobody has heard, from what I know of, what he was doing during that.
Yeah, between 1:40 and 6, because he skips from 1:40. I called and her phone was off. And then he gets to 6 and he says, I had to go pick up the son. And so the cops know what he was doing, or at least he's told a version to the cops of what he was doing between 1:40 and 6. Today's press conference, I didn't hear anything like, I heard, the only thing I heard was, we don't have anybody. So and maybe I'll throw that press conference up here in just a second. We'll dissect the police officer who's given us the information. thing I didn't hear was he's not being cooperative. You know, they said they speak to all the family. They're speaking to all the family, all the people around her. And so
I just had a thought though. He said that something about the dog. So if the front door was open.
yeah, where was the dog at? Damn, girl, that's like murder at 1600 thing. That's the old Wesley Snipes movie. That's how Wesley Snipes busted the guy who killed some girl in the White House on a movie because the dog was still there. The president hadn't left. And so,
yeah, if my front door was open, my dog would have.
But shit, my dogs are out. And half the time, my dogs are the reason my front door is open. They jump up and get it open somehow. So, yeah,
there are people in chat saying that the dog was on the porch with the door shut.
Oh, on the back porch? On the back porch.
It's cold outside.
In Austin? Nah. It's not that cold. He was in like a light jacket. It ain't that cold. Not for a couple hours. Not for like but the question would be, is that somewhere she puts the dog? Yeah.
Right. If I left my dog on my balcony, people would be calling.
But you don't have a 3-month-old. But you don't have a 3-week-old. So, you know, with the new baby, is this a new dog? How long's the dog been in the family? Does the dog know how to act around infants? You know, there's all these little things. Now, she's not a new parent, so you got to understand. There's an old joke. Let me tell you. I'll tell you this joke, and then we'll freaking watch this video and see what he was lying about. It's not even a real joke. It's a real story. So I come down, me and my wife, we moved to Colorado. She gets pregnant with Zane, and there's some other people in Colorado we've known, and we were going to hook back up with them. I've known them for 30 years at this point now, but at that point, whatever, 20 years, we hook back up. We go to dinner at this Cuban restaurant in Denver. My wife is pregnant with Zane. She hadn't had the baby. She's pregnant with Zane. We meet up with this couple, and nothing's ever changed. He orders this guy orders a pitcher of mojitos, and you know, and the lady brings glasses, and my wife says, "Well, I'm pregnant," you know, and I'm not drinking or whatever, you know. And my buddy goes, "Oh yeah, this is y'all's first baby." He goes, "I remember that when my wife was pregnant with our first babies, she didn't do nothing. By the third baby, she was drinking like a German whore, and that baby's just fine," you know? And so this is her third baby. If you've had 3 babies, you're running out there. You're a pro by this time. You don't have to take it. I've heard people say she didn't take the diaper bag. A pro mama doesn't have to take a diaper bag. She might take 2 diapers and a handful of wipes. A pro mom does, you know, if she's breastfeeding, doesn't have to have a full, you know, suitcase, stroller, car seat to go out to the neighbor's house. So if she did just go to the neighbors and something happened, there is reasons why she didn't have all her stuff with her. Did she get all her stuff into the house and run back out to get the baby? I don't know, you know, and there's 100 questions that could be, did somebody want the baby and just took them both? You know, so let's watch this picture real quick. This video and see
your number in the
chat
so that Michelle can call in.
All right. Sounds good. All right, we'll talk to you later, Aaron.
Okay.
Let's see what this guy says.
And then she takes the kids to school, and she was making lunch, like right before I left. She took the kids to school. I don't know.
Oh, I see what they're saying. Because this is when he goes
at around 8:00. She called me. I answered the phone like right before I got in my truck. I work for Unicorn Moving, so
I guess people think because he resets there when he says, yeah, she took the kids to school. How do you call in? I'll tell you how to call in. You can call this number right there. Just call that number. Maybe I'll answer. Maybe I won't. I don't think he was lying. I think this guy's nervous. Who knows what mom was up to? Who knows what she was up to? Where she was going? What happened? Who came in? I didn't even know. I think y'all are the ones who just released to me that the door was open. I don't even know if I knew the door was open. Would you use past tense for your wife? She came in. I don't know. All right, somebody's calling me. Who's calling me from a 1866 number? Hello, it's Michael. Hello?
Hi, Michael.
What are you spoofing your number or something? Hello?
Hi, it's Michelle.
It's Michelle. Are you calling? Who are you calling? Where are you calling from?
No, I'm calling you from my work line. I have to put you on mute because I think it's a couple seconds ahead.
Oh, I got you. So can you hear me now?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Cincinnati. I got you. So what are you trying to listen on? You're going to have to put me on mute and just listen to me on the phone.
Okay. Let me mute this. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, sorry. This is my first time doing this. I'm a little nervous, but
What are you nervous about?
I love you. Been a big fan of you since Kelsey started. So thank you for your coverage and your dedication to that. Here is my thing. I'll be really quick with the minute 54. He says, and you have to watch his eyes because his eyes get really big. We have both told a fib or a lie before. You catch yourself. You know when you do that.
What does he say?
He says he wakes up about 6:30, 6:40, tells them to have a wonderful day, that he loves them, whatever, he leaves. And then he says that's the last time that he ever did see her, was at that time in the morning. Then he accidentally says she was making a sandwich. That's when his eyes at 1:54 go big, and he realizes because it would make sense for her to be making sandwiches around 2 o'clock, which was the slip, because he was there at the apartment at 2 o'clock.
Let me see.
And from then on in that interview, he cannot recover.
Pretty much gave Heidi a kiss, the baby kiss, and Sasha kiss. Said have a wonderful day. Left the apartments, went to work, and then she takes the kids to school. And she was making lunch, like right before I left.
He says she was making lunch right before I left, and she took the kids to school.
That's where he's trying to recover, but you just see it all fall apart. You see him start to fall apart. He had complete control up until he did that. He's had several interviews. This is just one of them. And one of the other interviews, I don't know if it was this one. Sorry.
I understand what you're saying, because he says he took off and then she was making lunch, but he's just trying to remember. I don't think it was a slip. I just listened to it. I'll listen to it again and see, but I think, let me make sure it's, I'm going to throw it up on the screen so everybody else can see it. Let me, put this up there. We're talking about something he says in this interview. And you said your name is Michelle?
Yeah.
Michelle thinks he slips up a little bit in the interview here, and he tells a little lie or something and gets caught. And it's about, he talks about he left for work, but then he goes back to, she takes the kids to school. She was making lunch, and all that. So let's see.
And then she takes the kids to school.
Let me go back just a little bit before that.
Left the apartments, went to work, and then she takes the kids to school. And she was making lunch, like right before I left.
So he's skipping around. Like, I think what he's doing is he's trying to give details that, and he just says, I left, went to work. But then he remembers, oh yeah, she was making lunch and she was going to take the kids to school. I could see how somebody could say, oh, he's, his story's kind of going back and forth.
Took the kids to school.
I I appreciate your perspective. This is just mine, and just based
No,
on
no,
interviews.
I'm with you.
Yeah, this is. I know a lot of people don't agree with me, and that's perfectly fine too. You know, the bottom of my heart, I hope they're found safe, and I would rather apologize to this man for thinking he was guilty. But you know what? This is what people like us who follow stories like this. What else are we supposed to think? These are the last two big tragedies that we know.
No, and I understand. I understand because, like, up until, you know, a lot of people followed like the John Benet Ramsey case, and a lot of people followed the different cases around, you know, but it wasn't as like it was with the Watts case. And then there are, I mean, shit, Jay is for Justice just did a whole live video on how this woman and Shanann look like each other. Their families look similar. Their husbands look similar. They took the same similar, you know, pictures and stuff. Like, so people are going to compare this guy to Watts. And you know what? He may have done this. He may have be a part of this.
But the thing is, we don't even know what this is yet.
Yeah, we don't even know. You know, I'm not.
We don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I'm gonna bust into some other conversation about this, but you know, this woman was arrested last year. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and so like, I was arrested last year too, or I was arrested this year. So that doesn't mean anything at all. It doesn't say anything for her. It's not speaking to her in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying there are a lot of pieces of the puzzle that it's especially hard for me because I'm not there. Like, because the last case I worked on, I could walk down the street and be like, if I had a question, or if I could, you know, go look at a specific spot or, you know, different thing. This one's a little different. I was threatened to fly to Austin just to go look at the apartments and stuff, because I think the answer lies there. If someone saw something, if they canvass today and there's a little old lady that says, oh yeah, I saw old boy throw a big old backpack in the back of his work truck, you know, about 3:30, you know, or about 2:30, 3 o'clock, you know, if someone said, oh yeah, I saw him take the baby out to the car, and then yeah, she got in the car with him, you know, there's gonna be all of a sudden he's gonna be sitting in the police station trying to answer a bunch of questions, you know, depending on what he told them. He doesn't tell us in the interview, the poorly done interview from the phone. He doesn't tell us what he does between 1:40 and 6 o'clock. That's a lot of time. That's the time in question. That's going to be the time law enforcement's going to question, because they believe she went home because all her belongings are there. All her stuff's there. She spent money at the book fair, but she left her purse at the house. So she had to have come home. The door was left open. I didn't know that, I guess, until I was talking to y'all guys. That's like, to me, that's a telltale that maybe he's not involved. That's a detail that he gives, you know, that's, but you ask the question, well, why didn't he do anything about that? Well, I thought maybe she ran down to the neighbor's house. But why after 3 hours and she wasn't back and you knew your son had to be paid? Why didn't, you know, so hopefully he gives answers. You know, I fell asleep. I was woke up by the phone. You know, if he tells them that he didn't go anywhere, well, did you talk to anyone on the phone? No one talked to me on the phone. Okay. You didn't go nowhere. You didn't go down to the grocery store. You didn't go to the 7-Eleven. You didn't go anywhere. No, I didn't go anywhere. I came in, took a shower, went to bed. I was taking a nap. I had to be back up early, whatever. I don't know. You know, so depending on what he tells law enforcement he did in that 4 hours, that's going to make a big deal. So.
I absolutely agree. Well, I'm telling you,
you got to get back to work too.
Yes, I do. Go back and watch that again. I think that, you know, it takes a couple times, but you'll get it.
All right.
And thank you for taking my call.
Yep, no problem. Thanks for calling. All right. Bye-bye. People can get in trouble at work. Be watching, doing shit at work. I think the North Koreans' name is what is, and they are saying not to blame others. DDH Christians. What? What are y'all talking about? North Koreans. The North Koreans invading my page. Awesome. I wasn't going to turn this into. Let's pull up the press conference. Let's watch the press conference. I want to watch the press conference. Let's dissect these FBI or these Austin police officers. They're really going to love that. They're going to be like, dang it. Dang it. We'll pull up the press conference and we'll pull up Google Earth. We're going to go look at the school. We'll go look at the apartment complex. Y'all stick around. We ain't going nowhere right now. See if I can find this press conference without looking too hard. Uh-oh, somebody calling in now. You're live with Dad with a phone.
Hey, Dad with a phone. My name is Sue.
Well, Sue, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Washington State.
What's going on up there? What are you thinking about all this?
Oh my gosh, I've been too many hours following this case. And because of personal experience, I think he did it. But there are posts, yesterday there were posts all over from his friends, friend to friends, Aunt Grandma's gardener, those kinds of things, that said he's threatened to kill her multiple times. And that he was very volatile with her. So my head goes directly to him, but I'm wondering in that video that you were just playing if he wasn't nodding off.
Oh, no. I don't think
you
he
don't
was.
think?
No, man, you just got to understand, like, this dude works on a pipeline. Last time he's been in front of a camera, maybe he was tired, right? Maybe he was tired.
Yeah.
I'm
talking for drugs.
Oh, well, maybe he was just tired. Maybe he wasn't sleeping. He's been up since Thursday. Right. Would you sleep? I mean,
no.
if your significant other and your baby was missing,
No.
And so, you gotta give him a little bit and go, well, we don't know how we would respond.
No, I don't know how I would respond. I truly don't. But I honestly, my gut just tells me that my husband's going to think I'm crazy for calling in here. I think I'm crazy for calling in here. Whatever.
You might be a little crazy.
Oh, okay. I am. Trust me. Trust me. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of weird to read all the hidden comments and stuff. It's bizarre. I hope she's okay, but it's doubtful at this point in time.
Well, again, all I want to say to that, it was doubtful that Jamie Coughlin was alive either. And then until she comes running out of a house.
Yeah, true.
Months later or whatever, weeks later. I don't even know how long it was she was missing.
True that.
It was, so you got to understand that the world is a big place. Now, the kicker to all of this is it's hard for a woman to disappear, but it's not. Women go missing all the time. It's hard for a woman with an infant to disappear. There's just too many things. She didn't have, from what I at least am gathering, it wasn't like she had access to some sort of money. He says on a few times, well, she would do whatever, even if she only had $4 in the account or whatever. And so I don't think she had a bunch of money that she can just run around and do stuff. But something happened. She didn't take off.
So get this, back to the dog.
Okay.
The dog, it was not normal for the dog to be locked out on the porch.
How do you know that?
Just reading in comments. This is what I've read. This is hearsay. Not normal for the dog to be locked out on the porch. And the dog, one of the neighbors today, when they were posting about the FBI being there this morning and stuff, the neighbors said they didn't hear the dog on Thursday, and the dog barks at everything. So those are just little tidbits I'll throw out. Yeah.
So the question is, if they didn't hear the dog, then where were they? Where was the dog?
Yeah, I don't know. I think she walked out of there. I think she maybe got in a fight with someone or something and walked out of there, and they coaxed her into their car. Is what I think.
Okay, so you think she left with the baby after she got in a fight with him?
Yeah, that's where my head's at. That they got in a fight and she walked off. I mean, just cool down or until he would leave her alone or whatever.
And then disappeared
then-
other ways, or did he do
No,
it?
I think that he maybe came and tried to pick her up and said, "Get in the car, honey. Everything's going to be okay." And something happened at that point.
Okay. No, I
don't know.
mean, there's something that went down, but then
Yeah.
you think the question is then do you think if all of that went down that way, why does he tell the story the door was open? Do you think that
Because if he left after her, I mean, I don't know. You guys seem to have a really great relationship. I've been in relationships that weren't so great and arguing. And if one of the people who are in the argument walks out, the other one who's the controller is going to come running after them. Did he leave the door open when he ran after her? Thinking, oh, I'll get her right back in here.
I got you. But then when he tells the story to the cops, he's like, I came home and the door was open.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what to think, but it's a sad situation for sure.
No, it's a crazy, tragic, sad, unbelievable. It's, and that's why, like, I got to give him a break, because if I'm him, I'm like, I'm living in a dream right now, right? If he's innocent, he's like, is this a dream? When am I going to wake up? So all of it's got to be weird. If he's innocent, if he's guilty, I'll tell you what, if he's guilty, I mean, I just don't think he talks like he's doing, because there's no reason for him to talk, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't,
No,
the cops aren't knocking on his door. The cops aren't kicking down his door for him to talk. He called the news. He brought them in. He's pleading for help for they're missing. So for me, it's not natural for the guilty to talk. Now, I don't know. But I like, again, we're going to watch it unfold. It's going to be one of those things that unfolds in front of us, or it's just going to disappear. The only reason I don't think this is going to disappear is because the baby is involved.
Yeah, it's not going to disappear.
The baby is what's making this going to stay in the forefront. That they're going to keep talking. They've already coined it a missing mother. And when you talk about missing mom and baby, it's a whole other level. So.
Yeah, it's interesting to get a male perspective for sure. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I think you guys are great. I really do. And it's been fun to watch you grow.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Such nice callers. Let's play this press conference and dissect this thing. How about that? Oh, no volume? Shoot. Let's try this again then. I'm sorry about that, kids. Sorry about that. No volume. I gotcha. I'm slacking. Don't get upset. I'll fix it. Y'all yelled quick enough. I don't know how I didn't have volume, but let's do it anyway.
Good afternoon. My name is Brad Heidis, BradHerries. I'm a detective with the Austin Police Department Violent Crimes Unit. Today I want to provide an update on the current state of our search for Heidi Broussard and Margot Carey. I'll reiterate their descriptions. Heidi is a 33-year-old white female. She stands 5'3", 150 pounds. She has dark hair with highlights in it. And Margot is now a 3-week-old child. Her last doctor's appointment, she was 7 pounds, 7 ounces, and 22 inches long. Heidi and Margot were last seen on Thursday, December 12th, here in Austin, Texas. It's believed that Heidi and Margot's last known location was at their apartment complex in the area of William Cannon and South First and we believe them to be there sometime the morning of that Thursday, December 12th. Heidi and Margot reported missing to us, to the Austin Police Department, at approximately 7:30 that night on Thursday. Patrol went to the scene, conducted an initial investigation.
This is just, again, a lack of professionalism. You know, when someone asks, why don't we see pictures? Why don't they have pictures of her? Why aren't they showing some photos? They may have photos out. Okay. First of all, they may have photos up on billboards right now. We're just not seeing them, and the news guys lack of professionalism. Okay. There could be reasons why they don't have them, or they could just not have them. Cause I did see a wide pullout shot and I didn't see any photos. They should have printed off some missing photos.
And contacted detectives with the Austin Police Department. Since that moment, we've been working this case continually. We have asked for the help of the FBI. The FBI is sending in the CARD team, that's the Child Abduction Response Deployment Team, here to Austin to assist with this investigation and with this search for Heidi and for Margot. Throughout this investigation, we've had the assistance of a number of units, both locally, statewide, and nationally, including the Austin Police Department Missing Persons Unit, the Austin Police Department Special Investigations Unit, the Texas Department of Public Safety, the Texas Rangers, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Travis County Search and Rescue Team, as well as the Texas Parks and Wildlife. Those units have continued to support us and continue to support us as we move on with this investigation and our search for Heidi and Margot. I want to thank the community for tips that we've received in this case. We've received numerous tips from all different mediums and all different sources. We ask that those tips that are made be reported to the Austin Police Department. We've seen a lot of tips that are posted online, and with those tips, we may not find them. We're aware of a lot of Facebook pages, a lot of online channels where people are posting comments that may be relevant to our investigation. We ask that you also share those with the Austin Police Department.
Did you hear that, guys? Go share with the Austin Police Department your theories, your posts. Call them up, leave them on a hotline. If you have a screenshot of someone who said something that you want to share with me, go share it with them. That guy just told you. He said, just go do this. He said, go share this with them so that they can look, check them out, you know. And so if you want to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, follow me on Facebook or Twitter. We're live. We're simulcasting both to YouTube and Facebook right now.
We're doing our best to keep up with the number of posts, a number of tips that are being posted online. But we ask that you contact us, the Austin Police Department, at area code 512-974-5250 with any tips. If you see Heidi or Margot, please contact the Austin Police Department or your local law enforcement agency if you see them out and about. We continue to search. We've been working continually since Thursday night to try and find Heidi and Margot.
Detective, can we ask some questions here? Given where you are right now with the investigation.
Shit. Y'all want me to go on a road trip? I'll go to Austin.
Current investigation. I'm not ready to
Y'all get me to Austin right there.
As persons of interest, to be perfectly honest,
soon as I got the funds in that PayPal to go to Austin, I'm on the way.
We don't have a person.
You can even put a mark on your note.
That we have and every possibility. And to be perfectly honest, anything is possible at this point. We're working down every angle to try and exclude possibilities and narrow that down.
I'll camp in my Jeep down in Austin.
That's why we need the public's help. And if you see Margot or Heidi or have any information about their whereabouts, please contact the Austin Police Department.
And Detective, do you think that they have that Heidi left on her own?
It's possible that Heidi and Margot have left on their own accord. It's also possible that there may be something nefarious or foul play involved. And to be honest, we don't know the answer to that question.
Do you think he doesn't know the answer to that question? Do you think he has a hint of an idea to the answer to that question? I got a no caller ID calling me in. You're live with Dad with the phone.
Introduction of the FBI.
On the phone, I was
just watching the interview with this guy, and I've seen it before, but this is the second time. And it's interesting to me that when he says he doesn't know if she left the premises on her own, he shakes his head no. If you want to back up and look at it, it's very interesting.
You're talking about the press conference or the interview with the other guy?
The press conference. He just did it.
Yeah, he just did it.
Minutes.
Let me just see here, because they just asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
The answer to
Oh yeah, he shakes his head right there.
He says no.
It's possible that Heidi and Margot have left on their.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It could be a subliminal thing where he's doing it unconsciously. We could rip that. That's a great observation. You could turn off the words and don't listen to his answers, but just watch his head movement, and you would say, oh, he just answered no to that question.
So, he did it a couple times in a couple prior statements that he made that were probably going to be pretty important, but when he said that he had people that were still searching for her, he shook his head no as well at that point in time. But yeah, it's a very interesting interview, and I hope they find out who did this, because they got a long ways to go on this investigation.
They absolutely do. They absolutely do. And they're not, and again, I can't even, he's saying it, right? A couple of things. One, these guys are beginning to understand that social media is going to make a difference in all these cases. And so, hit share on this video, not because I need you to share it, or go hit share on Facebook, her post, her picture, her poster, whatever it is, not because I need you to do that, but because she needs you to do that. And because these cops are telling you to. They know that the fastest, quickest way to get her picture out is on social media. And so, and to get the information out there, people to come forward. So no, I think they do have a long way to go. Well, I'm going to push play and we'll keep listening.
Okay. Good
All
luck.
right. Thanks for calling in. Great observation.
Their own accord. It's also possible that there may be something nefarious or foul play involved. And to be honest, we don't know the answer to that question. And that's what we're continuing to work on as we speak right now.
The possibility that Heidi could left on her own would be why child abduction response would be involved.
The introduction of the FBI to the investigation is to help us, and the acronyms and titles that they use for specialized units are not an implication of the direction or thoughts of this investigation. We're asking for any help that we can get, and the FBI is being very gracious in helping us out with that specialized unit.
You named several agencies that are helping you with research efforts, but there hasn't been visual boots on the ground that we've been able to see. Is there a certain area that you guys are looking into? Is there not an area? I guess where are those boots on the ground efforts to find her happening?
So ever since Thursday night, there have been officers on scene at their last known locations, at areas that would make sense for them to have been at, doing video canvases, knocking on doors, talking to neighbors, and doing anything we can do to try and find the current state, current position, the current location of Heidi and Margot.
Can you tell us what she was doing on Thursday? Can you walk us through her day and where she was coming back from when she got to her apartment, where she was on?
So it was released earlier on. She was dropping a child off at a school here in Austin, and then returns to the apartment. And that's where our investigation begins, is at the time she returned to the apartment.
It's been 5 days now. Are you any closer to finding out what happened to her, or finding the location? And what, if anything, have you been able to officially move forward? Have you recovered any new video that maybe?
So we haven't released, and to be honest with you, it's an ongoing investigation. We will not release all the information on what we're doing right now, but I can assure you that continual investigations, whether that be video canvas, speaking to neighbors, family, friends, coworkers, past coworkers, anything along those lines, as well as forensic searches of their digital footprint and any electronic devices, are all being continually evaluated and investigated by us.
What can you share about any previous calls or disturbances at Heidi's apartment?
So the previous calls and investigations, those are something I would defer, but those are part of the ongoing investigation.
You say that you're still searching for her. you still assume that she is alive at this point?
Did you guys catch that? So previous calls and investigations are still a part of this. So let's listen to that again.
And investigated by us.
What
can you share about any previous calls or disturbances at Heidi's apartment?
So the previous calls and investigations, those are something I would defer, but those are part of the ongoing investigations.
That's pretty telling. So this is great. First part of this video, I'm defending him. The second part of this video, I'm going, oh, really? Previous calls and investigations? This dude's guilty. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, what I'm saying is previous calls and investigations are a part of this ongoing investigation. Previous calls for domestic violence. Now, I looked up both these guys, and I could only find charges filed against her. I couldn't find any charges, and her charges, I believe, stemmed around. I'll tell you what they stemmed around. His charges were very minimal, some traffic violations. Her charges stemmed around some theft things. I don't know exactly. But can someone get his rap sheet? That's what I'm saying. I looked at his rap sheet. He doesn't have a rap sheet. She has previous charges, is what I could find. I couldn't find anything on him, but I did find stuff on her. And he has never been, he'd never been bonded out in Louisiana. They moved about 5 years ago is what we had. Yes, a theft in 2017. So that's what I'm saying is, like, I don't have information on charges he had. Domestic violence, she would have taken care. Even if she was running away from Shane for domestic violence, she would have taken care of her car and baby bag. Also the son, something is very fishy. Baby bag, I'm not sure of. First time mother would have grabbed the baby bag. Mother of 3, come on. You let your kids eat off the floor. Don't y'all be lying. You wouldn't have grabbed, you might not have grabbed the baby bag. I'm just saying, you might have grabbed a couple of diapers, stuffed them in your pocket, and ran out. Again, look at the ex-boyfriend, someone says. North Korea, I don't know what's going on with the ex-boyfriend, but I'm sure we'll find out.
You say that you're still searching for her. Do you still assume that she is alive at this point with the baby as well?
At this time, we have no reason to believe that Margot nor Heidi are harmed.
He did the shaking his head thing again.
We are still looking for them in a search and recovery manner, with them being alive. Our assumption is
looks like we got someone coming in from Palm Coast, Florida. This might be. I don't know who this is. You're live with Dad with a phone.
Oh my gosh! Hey, Dad with a phone. Listen.
Oh my gosh! You got online. You're here.
I know.
He took my phone call. What are you thinking?
Oh my! I just heard myself too.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, listen. This guy is so guilty. If he's not guilty, I'll apologize to him later. But this guy's so guilty. He forgot his story halfway through it and started cracking up. That guy's so guilty.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you have to put yourself in his shoes.
You know, I tried to do that earlier when I was watching it.
You have
and his
to.
interview last night. I tried to say, okay, he's just nervous. He's scared because he doesn't know where they are. But when he was talking about them, when he was sending messages out to if somebody had them, he's like, just please feed the baby. Like he knows maybe the baby's alive and she's not. Do you know what I mean?
So you think so what your allegations are right there is that he somehow did something and then got rid of the baby to someone?
I don't know about all that. See, I can't think that far ahead, but he's just, come on, he's telling them to feed the baby. It's just weird. Just feed the baby. Where's it?
Again, I understand some of his comments don't make sense. They don't necessarily, you know, but as far as me on that, watching that interview, I got to say it was poorly set up.
Yeah, you know, I agree.
And all of those things matter. And the fact that they released that raw footage, man, it's bad. The fact that they put that out there,
true.
and I'm probably not helping him showing it again, but it is what it is. But no, I think we got to stay open. We got to stay open to it.
No, I'm trying to.
Did y'all
but I
walk
don't
up to
think
Taco
so.
Bell?
And I'm seriously a true crime junkie. So let me tell you.
And what do you think of Dad with a phone? Well, okay, now I'm intrigued because I asked what you think of Dad with a phone, and you let out this little wicked giggle.
Oh, okay. All right. You want to know the truth? So I'm scrolling through YouTube one day, and I click on one of your videos, and I hear your voice, but I didn't have my glasses on, so I couldn't see who you were. And I thought you were my old pastor. You have the same exact voice as him. And I'm like, what's he doing? What? So I get my glasses and I look, and you're not him because he's probably like 15 years older than you.
What's your old pastor's name?
Ron.
Ron, okay.
Pastor Ron dropped sick. Anyway, so listen, he was such a cool guy. I don't live in that area anymore, but he was a cool pastor. He had a really good voice. So you roped me in by the sound of your voice, and then I started watching, and I loved the way you report things. You do stay pretty unbiased, and I loved how you called Patrick's mom old ma Frazee. That's great.
I actually I can't even take credit for that. You know who I gotta give the devil credit for that. That came from Oni. Oops.
Oh, okay. Well, you said it better than him.
I definitely said it better than him, and I kept it legit.
Just the way you said old ma. Good job.
I kept it legit. So hey, well, thank you. Right. Thanks for calling in. And you think he's guilty?
I think he's guilty as sin. I'm sorry if he's not. I'll apologize to him. And if he's got hair under his hat, I give him a free haircut. But beyond that, I think he's fucking guilty. Excuse me.
Oh, you're cussing. Right. Damn it. All my sponsors are gone now. Hey.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. Thanks for calling in.
But I didn't mean to cuss.
Hey, I need a beep button is all I need. I need one of those beep buttons. And anyway, no, I'm with you. So, hey, well, thanks for calling in. Thank you for letting us hear your thoughts.
No worries. Thanks for taking my call. Have a good day.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Somebody from Utah is calling in right now. Oh, somebody from, sad to answer. You're live with Dad with a phone.
Right now.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Maddie. I'm from Edgar, Colorado.
Oh, nice.
I just want to say I love what you do. I just love what you do. I think it's great. And, I just started learning about this guy with the fiance and the baby.
Yeah.
At first I wanted to say, oh my gosh, maybe, just maybe, maybe somebody wanted the baby. But when I seen him just sitting there swaying like, Chris Watts did, and he starts crying real bad when he talks about family. It's just, I don't know. I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, but it looked kind of crazy, eh?
It doesn't look good. The interview doesn't look good for him. I can say that. It doesn't look good for him on those reasons. People see that stuff and they definitely don't.
And I don't want to be that way because, I know that people, they want newborn babies, and, sometimes things happen, but are they searching the house? Are they looking at the house for anything?
I got to believe. I mean, I don't think the cops were like, they didn't go out there, interview him. They're not doing this press conference and they haven't already gone through the house. That makes zero sense.
I know.
So I do believe they've gone through the house and stuff. So, Yeah, so I do believe they've gone through the house and worked that out. So
I think, and I'm like, I've been listening to you, and I shut it off when I got on. Thank God I got on because I've been watching you from the beginning. I'm a YouTuber. I don't get on the Facebook or none of that kind of stuff. I just watch you on YouTube, and you've saved my life. I get so stressed out, and I gotta find Daddy with the phone, man. I gotta find Papa.
well, thank you for the kind words.
I love your daddy and what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm just so, I don't know. I don't want to be like the one with the wine. But I'll tell you what, I'll be the one with the bush beer. How's that?
The bush beer, huh? All right. My aunt drinks bush beer.
Oh, I love my bush beer.
She puts, actually, she's even more red. Well, I shouldn't say I claim her as my aunt. It's actually Nikki's aunt down in South Florida, and she puts her bush beer over ice. So that's like real redneck stuff right there.
I'll open me up beer. I got to put one in the freezer so it gets a little slushy.
Gotta get that bush beer a little slushy. All right. Well, thanks for giving me a call today and giving me your thoughts.
Yes, and I just want to tell you and your wife and your beautiful daughters and your puppies. I've seen your puppies too. But just God bless and keep up your good work and Merry Christmas and and put a wreath up for Kelsey on her bench.
Yeah, I think I'm going to. We were talking about that. I was actually talking with someone about that yesterday. We're gonna get something to do that, and I'll do a special live up there. So, yep, we'll do that. Hey, thanks again for calling.
One question before I let you go.
Oh well, go ahead. You have a question?
Do you know why Egner is called Egner?
Who are we talking?
Because it used to be the range. It's spelled backwards.
Oh, you're talking about Edgar, Colorado. I got you. You threw me off there. You went random.
That's why it's called Egner. It's spelled backwards.
Ah, gotcha.
All right. God bless.
All right. God bless. We'll talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye. Let's finish this press conference. Got all y'all calling in now. I need to take my phone number down.
We can find them, the better. That's why, again, we ask for the community's assistance, for the public's assistance. Have any information related to Margot or Heidi and their whereabouts or the circumstances surrounding their past 5 days, we ask that you contact the Austin Police Department.
Jan wants me to take a poll. Put a 1 for put guilty or innocent. If you think if Shane is guilty or innocent.
I can't go into the details of that. That's part of the ongoing investigation.
Are you reaching out to or planning for any out-of-state law enforcement agencies?
You looking for controller?
Louisiana, we know that most of her family is in Louisiana. Are we looking into if she possibly went back home to Louisiana in the middle of this?
So our partners with the Department of Public Safety are helping out, reach out to those other states and those other law enforcement agencies to conduct those investigations that are frankly outside of our jurisdiction, and we are continuing to work on those things.
We've heard a lot of questions about why there was not an Amber Alert issued when she went missing and Margot went missing. How come there wasn't?
There's no vehicle.
So an Amber Alert carries with it a very specific set of circumstances, and the circumstances surrounding this offense, this call for service don't match that Amber Alert. I would defer you to DPS for their criteria specifically for the Amber Alert. I can tell you that it didn't match that.
Detective, you mentioned the fact that you had moved up time now from 7:50 in the morning to school to sometime in the morning that mother and child were seen at the apartment complex. Was that due to surveillance video that was on scene then?
So that's just part of our ongoing investigation. We have reason to believe that both of them were back at the apartment complex after being at the school.
And there had been some suggestion that her keys and her purse were found either in her car or in the apartment. Where were her items and personal property found?
So that's part of the scene that we're processing and continuing to process as we speak. And those questions I'm gonna say are part of the ongoing investigation as we go.
What have you been able to nail down about where Shane was on Thursday throughout the day, and at what point he got home and all of that?
The timeline of all people surrounding Heidi and Margot, whether it be family members and friends or things that we've been investigating and speaking to them about. And that's part of the ongoing investigation into this case.
Thank you.
There you go. So, yeah, put guilty 1, innocent, 2, 3, undecided. You can leave those in there. The audio sucks on the press conference. I know, I'm sorry. Don't judge before the facts. Scentless says, hey, that's a man watching dad with a phone. You're part of the 1%, my man. I think Glaire's in here too. I did have some great callers today. Bunch of new callers. That's what happens when you open. Like, a lot of people are following this case new that didn't follow me in the Kelsey Barrett case. So, you know, I'm undecided at this point. Based on the interview, I think he was genuine. That's my assessment of the interview. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Because if I'm wrong, if he is in fact guilty, then he's a psychopath, guilty psychopath. You know, if I'm right and he's innocent, then we need to focus on the where and the who and the what happened. And so if you live in Austin, Texas, and you want to help dad with the phone, or if you're some rich ass, some bitch on here right now that just wants to write a check for my plane ticket, I'll go to Austin. But what I'd really like to do is find someone in Austin, because this isn't going to happen overnight. So, like, for what happened with the Kelsey Barrett case, I live here. I walk down the street to Kelsey's house, right? This is a small community. I already know everybody. I need to find the dad with the phone in Austin. That's what I need to find. I need to find the teenager with the phone, the kid with the phone. I need to put that shit out on TikTok right now, because there's somebody on TikTok in Austin that will go after it. And so, if you know someone who lives in Austin who wants to dedicate a little bit of their time, they don't have to give all their time. Go shoot some video with their cell phone over at the apartments. Go knock on some doors at the apartments. You know, the cops are going to knock on doors, but the cops don't necessarily get answers. Nobody wants to talk to the cops, especially Texas cops. And so, maybe there's a citizen out there. Maybe I call what's his name up? What's his InfoWars buddy up? I should call what's that crazy dude in Austin, Texas? Or is he in San Antonio? I can't remember. But maybe there's somebody in Austin that wants wait, somebody says my mom lives in Austin. My brother lives in Austin. You know that baby's no longer in Austin. Oh, North Korea, I don't like you. Yeah, you're live with Dad with a phone.
Hey, it's Danielle with Real Massacre Talk.
Danielle with Real Massacre Talk. Do you have like a channel on YouTube?
We do. I'm actually calling because Will is making me call. I'm friends with Will. He's with the Glare.
Yeah, I know Will. I was on Will's show last night.
Yeah, he's not making me call. I said specify. He's not making me. He asked me or suggested that I call you.
Nice.
He's at work, so I've been listening to your live. I just caught the last 20 minutes or so, and
okay.
I think we're on the same page. Are you giving him the benefit of the doubt right now?
Yeah, I mean, I went through his I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I don't want to be. I don't think we have enough information. And when I just went through his interview again, and just so you know, like, I've made a living behind the camera, interviewing people, talking to people for 20 plus years. That's what I've done. And so, like, the things that I saw happen in the interview are things that I've seen before. I've seen people act that way. And then we weren't even talking about people missing. We were talking about other stuff. It's just people trying to collect their thoughts, people trying to answer truthfully, and then also add in the anxiety of the situation. And you're going to see some swaying and some rocking. You're going to see some of that. That doesn't mean he's not guilty. First of all, he could be as guilty as sin. He could have done a very horrible thing. But I can't convict him on an interview he did, a poorly done interview at that. And so, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. But then when I listen to law enforcement,
It sways you a little bit.
Well, it sways me only because it's a tactic. Like I see the tactics in the law enforcement interview or the law enforcement press conference, and their tactics are very measured. Everything that man said was thought over and approved before he said it. He knows what he can say and what he can't say. He knows how to say it and why he and the reasoning behind saying it. And so I do believe they had some measured tactics, maybe not just for Shane, but for anyone. And so whoever may be involved. And so somebody's guilty. Somebody did something. We know that.
Somebody's guilty of something. Will and I discussed the other night. I did a live with him, and he played the audio only. He didn't put the video up. And I actually just put the audio only up on our channel because when you listen to just his words and don't look at his body actions, just hear what he's saying, you get a completely different impression. The interview is very poorly done, the video. I feel like it's a shame almost on the media's part. It's not set up properly. It's not organized. He was almost set up to fail in that interview. And again, I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying he's guilty because I don't know. But I don't know enough about the guy right now to feel one way or the other. I see some red flags, but then when I listen to just the audio, I hear a very genuine, heartbroken man.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think when he got emotional, it was appropriate. It was like he's breaking up. He is, he's cracking a little bit. So I do believe that the emotion was heartfelt. I believe some of the things. I think he was confused. I think he's like he's sitting there, and at one point he has to stand up and shift because he is confused in why he's doing an interview. He is confused in the questions and the awkwardness of it because his wife or his girlfriend is missing, his baby is missing, and so the body language of that interview could be dictated by some things. He could flat out be lying. He could just be a flat out liar, and he's telling a story and he's trying to cover his tracks. Part of me thinks that not by what he said, but what he didn't say. And part of me thinks it the same way. If he was guilty, I feel like he would have tried to give some alibi from that 1 to 6, but because maybe it is such a fraction of a time in his memory because he was sleeping or because he wasn't even thinking, he was watching TV. And by the time he was done, he was like, oh, where the hell is she? And oh crap, it's, his phone rings, he gets a phone call, he has to go pick up his son. And then all of a sudden this starts to set in and reality starts to set in. He could have just been an absent father, an absent boyfriend, an absent husband who was just like half of America right now. Their husbands come in from work, they sit on the tube, they turn on the TV, they ignore their children, they ignore their wives, and they wouldn't know if they were missing for 6 or 8 hours anyway. And so he could just be that,
Absolutely. I actually shared a story earlier, about 10 years ago. My stepfather came home from work. I had been at their house, my parents' house, at lunchtime, and I left a flat of flowers outside the door. And for some reason, I didn't take him inside. Anyways, my stepdad comes home from work, and he sees the back door open, and he just thinks that my mom forgot to shut the door. He goes into the house, and he goes in their bedroom, and he sees, like, all the drawers are pulled open, and he thinks my mom left in a hurry for work. Well, she's not like that. She would never do that. She comes home a few hours later, and she's like, hey, why's the back door kicked open? Hey, why's our bedroom ransacked? The house had been robbed during the afternoon at lunchtime, and when he got home, he was oblivious to that. and register in his mind that, no, she didn't leave that back door open, and no, she didn't ransack the bedroom. Yeah, so, I mean, some people just don't pay attention. I don't know if it's a male thing, a female thing, or if it's just a people. Some people are not observant to things. So, Yeah, I thought of that earlier. I'm like, well, that 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. time gap is a huge problem.
But we
But
don't
I'm
know that
sure.
he. I have to believe that if he's cooperated with law enforcement, if he's talked to him, which I think he has, there's
Right.
that law enforcement agent didn't give any indications that the family isn't being cooperative. You know, when the Patrick Frazee press conference went down and they were like, well, why isn't Patrick here? Have y'all talked to Patrick? You know, they answered, well, we'd love to talk to Patrick, but he's not, he's not speaking with us. Or we don't know why he's here. We called him and let him know the press conference was happening. And so, you know, if he's been talking to law enforcement, then I have to believe that those detectives said, okay, what did you do between 2 and 6 o'clock? Or,
Right. I
so
think that they know what happened in that time frame. And Shane went to get the phone records, and to me, I don't see that as deceit. I think he was like trying to maybe figure out what was going on.
well, it's definitely not deceit if he's telling us he went and got them.
Right. And I mean, he has to know that law enforcement's going to pull those anyways.
Yeah, but he can go get them faster than law enforcement. That's the thing.
Right.
Law enforcement here's the deal when and I've talked to my father about this, and my father had gone through all the training with this stuff. Law enforcement has to be very specific when requesting phone records. And so they have to talk about times and dates and things that happen. They can't just be like, we want all the phone records for Shane, and I know you can print those out for us real quick. It's not how it works. There's paperwork involved. And so for him to actively go, oh, I'm going to go get the phone records for you, or we're going to go and find out what happened. Where is the last time her phone pinged and all this stuff.
That seems proactive. Like he wants to help.
Yeah, it absolutely,
because it takes time to get
does.
warrants and to get those records, for the cops to get those records. So I don't know. The media interview looks terrible. The comments on our channel, we let people speak freely, but he is being ripped apart. And
what's the name of your channel again?
Real Massacre Talk.
Real Massacre Talk. All right, I'll have to go check it out.
He's being crucified, and I get it. I see what people see. I see what is concerning and alarming, but I also see what isn't concerning and alarming. And everybody's comparing him to Chris Watts, and I don't really think that's a fair comparison at this time. I might change my mind, depending on what we all find out in the upcoming days and all of that. But I really hope that that's not true.
I'm with you. I mean, yeah, we want her to walk out from somewhere, And
absolutely. I mean, they did say today they believe that they are alive. I even wonder about kidnapping. Did somebody take her to get that baby?
Things have happened here in Colorado that are a lot worse. I mean, a mom cut another mom up to get the baby out of the womb. And so,
2016.
There is some things that can happen. Some people believe it's money issue, that there could be some money things behind it. Even today, when there was a couple of other people that are doing, more not drama, but more speculation based kind of shows and around this thing. I'm like, for a family that maybe that, I don't know. There's 100 different things you could speculate on. She's had some problems in the past. I haven't seen anything as far as the reports on him, but there is obviously the cops talk about calls to that house.
And we are actually digging in reports on him because of his prior profession. He was in various locations, so we're trying to see what we can find. But I don't know of any serious criminal history with him right now. And
no, the only thing I've seen is some traffic tickets, and then I saw something on her that she had a theft. And then there are some weird things that have happened, like a lot of people are commenting about the GoFundMe account.
Right.
I see that as weird, but it's just the new world we live in. It is simply the new world we live in. And so people will create GoFundMes to get their dog's nails clipped. People will create GoFundMes for whatever, you know. Y'all want to create somebody create a GoFundMe and send me to Austin, and I'll go down and knock on doors. So I'm not going to do it. Y'all create the GoFundMe, collect the money, and send it to me.
Listen, we have somebody right now on another case who's created a GoFundMe to get false teeth. So
you know what I'm saying? So there you go. So there you go.
I'm very judgmental of
Yeah.
GoFundMes. I have a problem with them.
Well, I don't have a problem with them because it is simply, I don't have a problem with Donald Trump tax evasion. I don't have a problem with the single mom using the system of welfare to pay for her kids. I don't have a problem with someone. If someone wants to give to a GoFundMe, then the person given their heart and the blessing they will receive from the gift they give is without reproach, no matter what happens with the money. Now, the people who are asking for money, the people who are creating those GoFundMes, they're going to have to work that out between them and the next. But speaking of GoFundMes, my PayPal's at the bottom of the screen. Y'all can judge me later. Anyway, so hey, thanks for calling in. I'm gonna check out your channel. I just subscribed.
No problem.
Y'all check out the Real Massacre Talk on YouTube.
Good talking to you.
What was your name again?
Danielle.
Danielle. All right. Danielle from the Real Massacre Talk, sent over by Willie.
Yes, Will's one of my close friends.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad to I made the connection.
Yeah.
All right.
Hopefully we can talk again soon. I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. I'll come interrupt one of y'all's lives one time.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on in.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The GoFundMe bothers me only because it does bother me a little bit. I ain't going to lie. It's a little quick. But then again, it was set up. It actually is set up by her parents. You got to understand that. It's set up by his parents. It's set up by, and the lady says it's her daughter. So Carey is who set it up. And it's her daughter-in-law and her granddaughter. And so we can't judge. Don't judge Shane, because I'll tell you what, I don't think Shane has the capability. I think Shane's parents set it up. So there you go. So don't get mad at him about that. Ty is a dude by his dad. Ty is a dude. There you go. He is his dad. There you go. People are saying it's his dad. Good. I don't see anything wrong with the GoFundMe page in this case. They're poor people. There you go. Zelda said it. If people want to give, people will give. People get pissed at me because people give to my PayPal, and I'm like, good thing you're not the one giving. You're not the one getting the blessing from the gift. And so whether it's to me or to someone else, but yeah, to set up a GoFundMe has become the new normal, right? Has become the new normal. And so don't get mad. Don't get mad about that. We didn't even know what happened, if anything. Yeah, this is true. What happens if nothing happens? He's got the GoFundMe set up. People sent money, and absolutely she walks out of the blue and nothing went wrong. There is some questions there. There are some questions to be answered there. Wasn't the PayPal set up because the dad was missing work to find his baby? The parents want him to help pay the bills. He does make a statement that says, I'm about to be off. I just know y'all are all going to feel like tomorrow if they arrest some homeless black dude. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't have said a homeless black dude. I could have said a homeless Chinese dude, and y'all would have been a homeless Irish dude, a homeless white guy that did all this. I don't even know why I brought race into it. It's just simply saying that you're going to feel really bad if the cops end up arresting someone else and you guys crucified Shane on the somebody is going to call me a racist. I can already see it. Oh, I can see the headlines on the Irby Herb or the, I bet Mandy's going to have a fun day with that one. That is brilliant. That's the miracle of live videos. You can't ever take back what you say. I don't slip very often, but that was kind of I don't know why I said any race at all. I'm sorry. I apologize. I feel bad now. I shouldn't feel bad because I didn't mean anything, but I still feel bad. Dang. I just lost 20,000 subscribers. Yes, you do hear Ella singing. She's feeling much better, aren't you? You feeling better?
Yeah.
What, you got your head? You don't want to listen to me?
She hasn't ate a bite of food all day and she's still in her PJs. So she's still sick.
Have you not eaten no food today? You're not hungry? Your stomach is still messing with you. I sat on that recliner all night last night, is just about, she was throwing up all freaking day. So, but you see how we put, you haven't.
Yesterday, yeah, but today, nope.
This morning you didn't at all? I remember you throwing up about 2:00 in the morning, so you did throw up today.
No, I didn't.
I'm the one who cleaned the bucket out.
Whatever.
Anyway, hey, thanks for joining me today. We'll be back on this. We ain't going nowhere. We're going to continue to talk about this. You know, the what we need to be doing right now and what really needs to be happening and what really needs to be going down is people need to be getting her face out there. Her face needs to be out there. They need to know, people need to know what she looks like. So if you have any information, call 911, call Austin PD, and gosh, this sucks. I know. What am I talking about? Is it? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, girl. Father, bring them home. Bring them home before Christmas. Bring them home before the holidays. Bring them home. I'm done. I ain't answering no more calls today. Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling. I'm just not answering calls. Oh, man. Make sure to go over to Dad with a Phone on Facebook and Twitter. You can find me. We'll talk about this. There's a Facebook group up if you want to join the discussion over on Facebook. This is a link to the Facebook group. You can check that out. There's more information. People are commenting live. I have lots and lots of messages to go through. We tried to call. I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to try to call one more time. We'll see if we can get a hold of Shane one more time.
Please leave your message for notification. Press 5. To send an SMS notification, press 5. Your SMS notification will include your number 1719337.
All right. Thanks for joining. Say a prayer for Heidi and Margot. Keep your thoughts, your prayers with their family. You've been watching Dad with a Phone.